What's up, everyone? Welcome back. If you've tried to book a flight lately, you know prices are out of control and the whole process is a mess. One minute you find a deal, the next you're slammed with hidden fees or your flight's canceled. That's why I made this video, to save you from travel disasters. Today, I'm exposing the 7 worst airlines to avoid in 2026, based on real reviews, cancellation stats, and sneaky fees. The last airline on this list is 1 million's book without realizing the risks. It could save you hundreds, even thousands. Smash that like button, get comfy, and stick around. Let's reveal the airlines you need to avoid. Let's get into it. Number 7 is Spirit Airlines, no surprise here. If you've ever searched for flights and seen those jaw-droppingly low prices, you probably already know what's coming next. Their low fares are a trap. That $49 ticket? It's just the start. Spirit lures you in with what looks like an unbeatable deal, but the reality is you're only paying for a seat on the plane, nothing else. Want a carry-on? That's more than a checked bag. Even a small roller or backpack that fits in the overhead bin will cost you, sometimes, more than your actual ticket. Want to pick your seat? Pay up. Spirit charges for every seat selection, even if you just want to sit next to your family or friends. Otherwise, you're at the mercy of random assignment. Even printing your boarding pass costs extra. If you forget to check in online, you'll pay a fee just to get your boarding pass at the airport counter or kiosk. The fees pile up fast, and by the time you're done, you've spent more than on a major airline. What started as a budget trip quickly turns into a pricey ordeal, but the real nightmare is their delays and cancellations. Spirit is notorious for running late, and their on-time record is among the worst in the industry. Spirit runs on a razor-thin schedule, so one delay can snowball into hours of chaos or outright cancellations. With so few backup planes and crews, a single hiccup can ruin your entire travel day. If your flight's canceled, you could be stranded for days. There's often no backup flight. Unlike bigger airlines, Spirit doesn't have partnerships to rebook you easily. Viral videos of chaos at Spirit counters? Totally real. Passengers have been left waiting for hours, sometimes overnight, with little help or information. Their business model preys on bargain hunters, but the deal is almost always a mirage. What looks like a steal at first glance is often a headache in disguise. Add up the bag fees, seat fees, and even water. Yes, you have to pay for water, and your cheap flight is suddenly expensive. Every little thing is an extra charge, and if you need a hotel after cancellation, forget it. Spirit rarely covers hotel costs, leaving you to fend for yourself if you're stranded overnight. Unless you travel with just a backpack, have zero plans, and can handle last-minute chaos, Spirit is a huge gamble. It's only for the most flexible, risk-tolerant travelers. The risk and stress just aren't worth it. Most people end up regretting the savings when their trip goes sideways. For 2026, steer clear of Spirit if you value your time and sanity. There are simply too many ways for things to go wrong. There are better ways to save money on travel, ways that don't involve hidden fees, endless delays, or risking your entire trip. Choose wisely, and your next journey will be a lot smoother. Number 6 is Ryanair, Europe's undisputed king of hidden fees and budget travel headaches. If you've ever searched for a cheap flight across Europe, you've probably seen their jaw-droppingly low fares, but don't be fooled. Those prices are just the beginning of your journey. Ryanair charges for absolutely everything. Checked bags, carry-on, seat selection, and even printing your boarding pass at the airport. Forget to check in online? That'll cost you too. Their baggage policy is so strict and unforgiving that travelers have resorted to wearing half their wardrobe just to dodge extra fees. You'll see people layering up in the terminal, looking more like they're headed to the Arctic than Barcelona. Want to sit with your family or friends? Unless you pay extra, Ryanair will happily split you up, kids in row 3, parents in row 28, and your travel buddy somewhere in the middle. And don't expect to land anywhere near your destination. Ryanair often flies to remote airports miles from the city you booked, so your cheap Paris flight might actually land 2 hours away, with a pricey bus ride still ahead. The in-flight experience is as bare bones as it gets. No seat recline, no free snacks, and a constant barrage of sales pitches for everything from lottery tickets to perfume. Comfort is not on the menu. Delays, last-minute schedule changes, and sudden gate swaps are all part of the Ryanair adventure. And if something goes wrong, brace yourself. Customer service is notoriously difficult to reach and rarely helpful. Refunds and rebooking can take forever, leaving you stranded or out of pocket for days. Many travelers have stories of endless phone calls and unanswered emails. Those $10 fares are tempting, but by the time you add up all the extras, baggage, seat selection, transportation from remote airports, the real cost can be double or triple what you expected. Always read every bit of fine print, prepay for every possible add-on, and prepare for a no-frills, zero-comfort journey. Ryanair is not for the faint of heart or the unprepared. If you value your time, comfort, and sanity, Ryanair is rarely worth the hassle. The stress and inconvenience can easily outweigh any savings. Sometimes, paying a little more for a real airline with better service, comfort, and reliability is the smarter move in the long run. Don't let a cheap ticket ruin your trip or your mood. The hidden costs and stress just aren't worth it. Ryanair is a masterclass in how not to treat passengers, so think twice before booking that bargain flight. Number 5 is Frontier Airlines. Don't be fooled by the cute animals on the tail. While their branding might make you smile, the experience on board often leaves travelers frustrated and disappointed. Their base fare covers only your seat. Everything else is extra. Want to bring a carry-on, choose your seat, or even get a glass of water? Be prepared to pay for every little thing, and those costs add up fast. Carry-on fees are sky-high, and prices jump if you wait until the gate. Sometimes the bag fee alone can be more than your ticket, catching many travelers off guard at the last minute. Don't pay for a seat, enjoy the middle seat and zero legroom. Frontier's seating is notoriously cramped, and unless you pay extra, you'll likely be wedged between strangers for hours. Their pre-reclined seats are just code for don't recline at all. Comfort is sacrificed for cost, and you'll feel it on longer flights. Frontier ranks among the worst for on-time performance and delays. If you're on a tight schedule, be prepared for unexpected waits and missed connections. If your flight's canceled, good luck. Customer service is mostly chatbots and email forms. Getting real help can feel impossible, especially when you need it most. Imagine arguing with a robot when you're stranded. There's no one to talk to, and you're left feeling helpless as you try to salvage your plans. Their Works bundle sounds like a deal, but often costs as much as a major airline. By the time you add up all the extras, you could have flown with a full-service carrier for the same price, or less. You end up paying full-service prices for a budget experience. The savings you hoped for quickly disappear, leaving you with regret and discomfort. Unless you're extremely flexible and don't mind discomfort, Frontier is a risky bet. For families, business travelers, or anyone who values reliability, it's rarely worth the gamble. The odds of saving money are slim. Once you factor in all the hidden fees, the total cost can be shockingly high for what you actually get. For 2026, look elsewhere for reliable, stress-free travel. There are better options that won't leave you stranded or frustrated. Don't let a cheap fare cost you your vacation. Sometimes, paying a little more upfront is the best way to protect your trip and your peace of mind. Number 4 is Allegiant Air, serving small cities with big risks. Their limited schedule means if your flight's canceled, you could be stuck for days. No backup flights, no easy rebooking, just a refund and a ruined trip. Allegiant's older planes mean more mechanical issues and higher cancellation rates. Every flight is a gamble. If you miss your one shot, you're out of luck. Hidden fees for bags, seats, and even water add up fast. Their vacation packages aren't always deals. Compare prices before booking. Safety concerns have also made headlines, adding to the risk. If your plans are flexible and you don't mind last-minute changes, maybe it's worth it. But for important events or fixed dates, avoid Allegiant in 2026. The savings aren't worth the stress or the risk of missing your trip. Book with caution, or better yet, book elsewhere. Don't roll the dice on Allegiant. Number 3 is Viva Air, notorious in Colombia and Peru for chaos and unreliability. In 2023, they abruptly shut down, stranding thousands with no warning. Even after being acquired, their history is a giant red flag. Hidden fees are everywhere. Baggage costs can double or triple your fare. Customer service is almost non-existent, especially during disruptions. Refunds after their collapse were nearly impossible to get. Flights are often delayed or rescheduled last minute, ruining tight itineraries. The in-flight experience is bare bones, with constant upselling. For 2026, the risk of another meltdown is too high. There are better, more stable options for South American travel. Don't let a cheap ticket leave you stranded in a foreign country. Avoid Viva Air and choose an airline with a real track record. Your adventure should be about the destination, not airline drama. Number 2 is EasyJet. Once reliable, now a growing headache. Recent years have seen massive cancellations, especially in peak season. One canceled flight can leave you stranded for days, with slow compensation. Baggage rules keep changing, and the free allowance is tiny. Want a normal carry-on? Pay extra or get hit with big fees at the gate. Seat selection, food, and speedy boarding all cost more. The final price often matches full-service airlines, without the reliability. Customer service is hit or miss, especially during mass disruptions. Getting compensation can take multiple calls and lots of patience. EasyJet is stuck between budget and full service, but delivers on neither. For 2026, especially in summer, think twice before booking. The risk of being one of thousands stranded is real. Sometimes, paying a bit more upfront saves you a world of hassle. Number 1 is Jetstar Airways, Qantas's budget arm, and a major letdown. People expect Qantas reliability, but Jetstar is the opposite. They have the worst record for cancellations and delays in Australia. Book a dream trip, and you might get a last-minute cancellation with no quick rebooking. Their customer service is infamously hard to reach. Expect vouchers, not refunds. Getting rebooked on another airline is a battle. Fees are everywhere. Checked bags, carry-ons, seat selection, even in-flight entertainment. The Qantas connection is just marketing. They're totally separate. Jetstar is a true budget airline with a terrible performance record. For 2026, avoid Jetstar if you value your vacation time. Pay extra for Qantas, Virgin Australia, or Air New Zealand. Your trip is too important to risk on endless delays and cancellations. Don't let Jetstar ruin your plans. The money you save isn't worth the stress. Book smart. Skip Jetstar. There you have it, the 7 airlines most likely to ruin your 2026 travel plans. Always check baggage, seat, and cancellation policies before booking. Don't just look at the base fare, add up all the extras. A little research now saves you a ton of stress later. Share your airline horror stories in the comments. Let's help each other avoid travel disasters. If this helped, hit subscribe and stay tuned for more ways to save money and travel smarter. See you in the next one.